I got a couple of comments in the video that I posted yesterday about the fence and what I consider using an indexing system like Jeremy Schmidt did with his fence. And I didn't answer the comments directly. I thought it would be interesting, well, semi-interesting to make a video about it separately and talk about it. I have, I don't know. I don't want to put down the system, but there's a reason why you've never seen that in a manufactured type system. And it's probably not because someone didn't think of it before. It's that it's too rigid. I know from like using a table saw for a very long time that I need to make very small adjustments all the time, and I would find something like that so incredibly frustratingly bothersome that I would soon disable it. Like I said, I don't want to put down the system. I think it's interesting. It certainly would have its advantages when you're doing something that's very rigidly designed. But very little of what you do in woodworking is very rigidly designed. The other issue with something like that is that it relies on threaded rod. And threaded rod, like I didn't know this to begin with, but you know, through working with box joint jigs and whatnot, threaded rod is not a precision instrument, I guess you could say. It's almost a rarity to find one that's precisely cut to the perfect spacing, you know, thread pitch. You're bound to have, like if you measure the length, I mean, for a fence you would need on the right side of the blade, you typically want 24, 28, 30 inches. You measure the rod over that length, you might have some small variation. Some, like I said, can be perfect, others not so much. And you could go through a lot of threaded rod before you'll find one that's exactly right. So there's that. And also the rigidity of the spacing system. I just cannot see that being something that I could see being a valuable part of a fence system that I would have on saw. The other comment I got from someone was regarding don't make it out of wood. He's being a little bit flip or facetious maybe. Don't make it out of crappy wood, but get aluminum. I think it's 80-20, whatever it is. Aluminum channel with the T-slots in it. You know what? You might be one of these people that think T-slots in a fence are good. I don't. Like if I want something attached to the fence, which would be a very, very rare thing, I'll just use a clamp. I'll clamp something on there. I don't need T-slots. Basically, I like to keep things as simple as possible. You look at my drill press table over there that I've had for years. I talked yesterday in that video about things that I built years ago and still have. That would be one of them. That's original, still there. Because it's simple and it works. You don't need any, you know, complex things. It doesn't have any T-slots to get jammed up with dust. It's easy to take off and put back on when you need to. Like the other day I was doing some drilling on metal and I didn't want to, like normally I leave it on, but I was using oil at the time, so I didn't want to leave the table on. Took 2 seconds to pop it off and then do my drilling and then put it right back on again after cleaning the top. So that's the way I like to keep things, as simple as possible. If you want extra functionality, you can always add it after by just using something that's temporary, like a clamp. Because these instances where you need this extra functionality are relatively rare in woodworking. Most of the things you'll do require the basic things. And why complicate it? My shop is clean. I know it doesn't look like it looking at the workbench here, but this is the stuff for the table saw. And see any point in putting it away when I'm just going to be using it again. While cleaning up, I took my little block plane here. This is a Stanley low angle one that I Took a couple hours to fix the knob on the back here that popped off because it was just like pressed on there. I was putting this away over there. You can see the plywood up here, okay? That plywood doesn't belong there. I just have it stored there. It was leaning up against the tool board. I leaned it back. I reached in with the plane to put it in the holder. And I don't know what happened. No, it was with this hand that I was reaching in. I was holding the other, like the sheet, to keep it from touching the bandsaw for some stupid reason. And my elbow contacted the sheet and I dropped the plane. I dropped the plane nose first down onto the concrete. And it broke the plane. Look at the knob here on the front. And that's nothing. I mean, I could live with that. Whatever was holding it on, I could probably fix it. See, the nose on this is adjustable, okay? So that's not the problem. What the problem is that this sliding nose part came forwards or came back, hit the blade, okay? And it broke the section back here. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take it apart a little bit and break that piece off the rest of the way so you can actually see what broke on the plane. So here's a tip for you. Don't be dropping your $60 plane nose first onto the concrete. This is what will happen.